Welcome! This is my first attempt at a global weather report, and it's for the last full week of June. What I've done is I've looked around to find the most important and interesting local weather reports from around the globe and compiled them into this single video. On the 22nd of June, a Russian volcano erupted for the first time in 95 years. It sent an ash plume about 10 miles high into the atmosphere. This picture was taken from the International Space Station, and I find the interesting point about this is how flat the top of the ash cloud is. Now, why would that be the case? Well, apparently what happens is that as the ash rises, its density becomes equal to the density of the atmosphere, and so the atmosphere can no longer support it. So there's a sort of a ceiling on how high the ash cloud can rise. This is called an umbrella. This next item is not strictly to do with weather. This is a picture of the explosion of an asteroid entering the Earth's atmosphere. It was estimated to be about 3 meters across, and we get asteroids of this sort of size about every year to every 10 years. The neat thing, as far as I was concerned, it was captured by the GOES Lightning Mapper. That was the instrument that I helped persuade NOAA to put on the current GOES spacecraft, so I'm rather proud of this. We hadn't thought of that particular application when we were trying to persuade NOAA to fly it. The path of this was just south of Puerto Rico. Now here's something I didn't think I'd ever be talking about, is apparently the United Kingdom is now facing increasing risk of wildfires. So far this year there's been 134 wildfires burning, and it's burnt 29,000 hectares so far. This compares to 79 fires and 18,000 hectares in all of 2018. The government is warning about increasing risks from this as temperatures rise and we get drier weather in the UK. We've had a late season snowfall on the 22nd of June in the Rockies. Some parts of northern Colorado got 18 inches of snow. Although this is not all that unusual, we've had snow there as late as in July. If you've ever visited the Everglades, you know that it's basically a large swamp with lots and lots of water. So all the more amazing that 15,000 acres have burned in a wildfire so far. Local fire officials say that it will burn until it rains, but there's no rain in the forecast for the foreseeable future, although I looked at today's map and there does seem to be some crossing the peninsula, so hopefully that will put the fire out. Some people in 2 local communities of Parkland and Coral Springs were advised to stay indoors because of low air quality. Poor old Florida is getting hit a second way. On the 23rd of June, 3 people were killed by rip currents. These are fast flows of water away from the seashore back out to sea, and they can carry swimmers with them, and they cannot fight the current and end up drowning way out to sea. Another state that has been ravaged by wildfires is Arizona. There was a fire in the Tonto National Forest that has suddenly grown to 175 square miles in extent. This forced the evacuation of over 700 homes. The rapid growth was due to excessive heat and low humidity conditions setting in over the area. On the 24th of June, severe thunderstorms hit Indiana, and there was a possible tornado sighted in South Bend. That takes the total number of tornadoes in June in the US to 123, and over 1,000 for 2019 so far. On June the 25th, some rare pink rainbows were seen over the UK. These only occur when the sun has set, and so most of the colours in the sunlight have been absorbed by the thickness of the atmosphere, so when you get a rainbow, only the red colours show up. On the 27th of June, Mount ULAWUN in Papua New Guinea started to erupt. Now, this is much closer to the equator and also a bigger eruption, so may have some effect on our weather in the distant future. There's been an algae outbreak in New Jersey. This causes rashes, flu-like symptoms and allergy-like symptoms, gastroenteritis, breathing and eye problems. It's caused by unusually high temperatures and a large amount of agricultural runoff from all the rains that have been happening recently. There have been similar problems in Florida and also along the Gulf Coast, particularly Louisiana. This of course impacts the tourist industry and local restaurants, because you shouldn't eat any fish or seafood that comes from contaminated waters. It could make you very sick. Corn farmers are having it rough at the moment. There was a very wet summer last year. There was a lot of snow this winter, which is now of course melting as temperatures have gone up. We've so far had record rain this year. It's the wettest 12-month period in US history. So a lot of corn crops can't get into the ground, and if they're in the ground, they're probably being killed by all the excess water rotting the roots. So corn futures are skyrocketing. That means the prices in the supermarkets will start to go up. At long last, the monsoons have hit India, particularly in the Mumbai region where this picture was taken on the 27th of June. However, other parts of India are not so lucky. Other parts of India are suffering from drought. This is Chennai, for example. Residents there are rationed to 4 pots of water per day. The heat wave so far has killed 60 people. 21 cities will likely run out of water by next year, and food prices have more than doubled. While Louisiana might be suffering from red tide, it is also getting some beautiful red sunsets. This is due to a lot of Saharan dust being blown across the Atlantic and producing these particularly lovely sunsets. Alaska's ice seems to be disappearing according to a report on the 27th of June. Normally ice covers the Bering Sea until the end of May, but this year has been very different. It had all gone by March. This is affecting both the food supply and jobs in the area. Now to the story that you've all been hearing all week about the heat wave that has hit Europe. France issued its first ever red alert. That was put in place after the 2003 major heat wave that killed so many people. We had the highest temperature ever recorded in France at 44.3 degrees centigrade, or about 112 Fahrenheit. We have wildfires in Spain, including the quote manure fire, where a pile of manure that was composting down got so hot that it actually spontaneously caught fire, and that fire spread to the surrounding countryside. Autobahn speeds have been reduced. That was after a motorcyclist was killed when he hit a piece of buckled road. And there are record temperatures in Italy, Belgium and Poland as well. This temperature map very much reminds me of the picture by Edvard Munch called The Scream of Nature. And I think that's quite an appropriate title for what's been going on in Europe over the last few days. So if you like this sort of presentation, please say so in the comments below, and any suggestions as what I should or should not include, that would also be very welcome as well. So until next time, goodbye.